To provide the direct illumination from the sun, we can approximate that using a photometric light. In my perspective view, I can't really see much because I'm in a shaded view. I'll press F3 to go into wireframe and create a photometric target light. Go to the Create panel, to Lights, Photometric, click Target Light, and in the top view, click and drag to create the light and its target. I'm pointing the target toward the architecture here. Release the mouse and then right-click to exit the tool. With the light still selected, go to the Modify panel, and we can see we've got a target distance listed here. I previously experimented with the light position, so I know exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to select the light and not its target. Go to the Move tool, and in the Transform Type In area down here, I'm going to set the light position in X to be negative 127 meters. Negative 127. Now it's pretty far out there. The Y value, set it to negative 417. And then finally, the Z value or elevation here, I want to be 120 meters above the horizon. And now that light is positioned pretty much in the same place that the sun positioner was. And it's just inside our environment sphere. If the light itself were outside that sphere, then the sphere would cast a shadow and the light would not be able to reach into the window. With the light still selected, go back over to the Modify panel, and we see our target distance is less than 450 meters, and that's because we're just inside that sphere. We can use that number actually to set the intensity of the sunlight. Over here, we've got the intensity values. We can set it by lumens, candelas, or lux at a certain distance. And this is the mode we want here. Choose lux at, and then set the distance to be about the same as the target distance. Let's make it 450 meters. And then the intensity of the light at that distance is currently only 1500 lux. Select that and turn it way up to 70,000 lux. And that'll emulate a strong light coming through the window. We can set our color temperature up here. Instead of the default D65, I'll set a custom Kelvin value. And we can see it's set to 3600. Let's make it 4800. It'll be an orange light relative to the background, which has a color temperature of 6500. Finally, we have the distribution type, and that interacts with the shape of the light. For the emit type, I'll choose disk, and that will give me soft shadows depending upon the size of the disk. If I use disk as the emit type, then I should choose uniform diffuse as the light distribution type. Because uniform spherical is not actually compatible with the disk, and the renderer will actually default to uniform diffuse anyway. And uniform diffuse is a one-sided illumination, so it'll only emit from one side of the disk. Okay, and then we finally got our radius, and we'll increase that up to 3 meters. And we should get pretty nice soft shadows now. Okay, we've set up all of the parameters for our approximation of sunlight, and we can go ahead and click Render Production. And once again, here's a full screen rendering of our custom interior daylighting setup, in which we're approximating the sunlight using a photometric light. And our environment is coming from a piece of self-illuminated geometry. This gives us a lot more artistic control than the ART default physical sun and sky environment.